Good morning and welcome to a damp overcast day in the South Lakes. And yes, it's road trip time once again. The Kia EV9. Now we saw this launch at Christmas and as soon as it came out it turned heads. But when you take a deeper look you'll understand why. Now it's about the size of a Range Rover, it's got a 100 kilowatt hour battery and offers a range of around 300 miles. And retails for around 70,000. The range starts at 65 and this is closer to 73. They've all got the same powertrain. It's just options and additions. For example, this has an ergo motion seat. Heated and ventilated seats through the front row, even the second row. You can hardly say that the EV6 was base level, but this, it just takes it to another level once again. Now, I could just stand here and wax lyrical, but I think the best bet is to jump in and head on our road trip. So today we're going to head up to St Bees and we're going to do the coastal road from Ulverston through to Barrow and then continue up. I mean, who knows where we're going to end up. I expect we'll be doing around 200 miles. Now bear in mind this was driven up from down south last week. And when you're on motorways, obviously it's going to reduce range. Like I said, 313. On that note, if you take it into the city, it's closer to 450. But that meant after fast motorway driving, we had a range of around 249. So what I expect it to do on the journey is just increase and increase and increase. So we'll take the mileage, etc., and we'll watch it. But do expect the odd launch. It's me after all. Anyway, enough wittering on. Let's get on the road. It's actually 247, but it was a cold night last night and the night before, and obviously that's going to affect range. Okay, before we set off, 247 miles of range and 100% of battery. Looks like the regen's set on level 2. Oh, now 1. Okay, so this vehicle's done 1,291 miles. Barely run in. Oh no, it's not an ICE. Who needs to run in an electric vehicle? Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Banging system. That's another thing to note. If you go for the GT Line S, you get a 14 speaker Meridian system. But this one's pretty damn good. Yes, you'll recognise this cluster from various Hyundai and Kia models. This is the, I suppose you call premium setup, and it does a damn good job. You just can't feel the weight of it. Because of the all-wheel drive, even on this steep drive.
I say it doesn't feel cumbersome.
No. And it just creeps out. Bear in mind it's around 3 ton this. Wow, that launched. Next stop, St Bees. Listen to that sound. Very well refined this. Quiet as a mouse. Thing is, it is quiet. Apart from that. Yeah, that's saying you're getting the top end on. Or 21.
Or close to it, yeah.
No, not close. 21 in the 20. Anything over the limit and you will get that noise. But you can disable things like that in the infotainment system. Not that you'd want to, it's a good reminder, because when you've got 400 brake horsepower in something like this, before you know it you're like, ooh, yeah. So the one-way street, yeah, it does demonstrate its size. Okay, we're starting to mist up. Let's test the fans. Ooh, nice and straightforward, a proper button. It's a pretty big windscreen.
Yeah, and it's now dropped to 239. But as you can see, because it's such a damp day,
it's horrible.
Yeah, we are going to need it on a low. But 239 is more than doable, isn't it?
It is. I think we need to increase it a little bit because, like you said, because it is damp, it is still misting up. So maybe 2.
Okay. So that's now gone to 2.
Doesn't help we're damp, does it?
No. And look how quickly that's cleared. It would help if the fan was actually on the demister setting. Did you see how quickly that went?
Didn't even think of that. A mini launch. Ooh. And that's normal mode.
Wow.
Yeah, you do notice its size on roads like this. Not surprising. Like I mentioned, it is comparable to the dimensions of a Range Rover. And that's not an exaggeration. The thing is, it doesn't feel like that, does it, Annabelle?
No, it really doesn't. It feels agile, nimble.
Yeah, it doesn't feel 3 ton or whatever it is.
As I said, it's like a reverse TARDIS effect.
Yeah, I do love electric vehicles. The power delivery, especially with an all-wheel drive system. Ooh, retro Volvo.
Wow.
That is
That's
excellent.
in good nick as well.
We do live in a beautiful area, don't we?
We really do.
Oh, flooding over there. You should be able to now. This is
Wow.
a heck of a ride height. Yeah, you don't see it like that very often. Lots of safety systems on this, so detection for cyclists, pedestrians. Right, let's put our foot down now. What I have to actually, should I put it into eco?
Yes, because at the moment we're on 237 miles. Let's see if that changes.
This is nice, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, we're a bit bigger than you, Mr. McCann.
Mm.
It's a joy to drive. The range has dropped 1 mile, and what have we done? Say 3?
Yes.
We have done 3 because it was 1291 when we left it. But like I mentioned, when you take it into the city, it boasts closer to 450. So if you just drove this around London, commuting, etc., you'd end up really efficient.
Well, yeah, you'd hardly need to charge it.
Yeah. It's amazing how small an X5 looks.
Look at that view, Ben.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Well, it's a bit murky. Right, okay. Let's have a look at the muddy shores. You get a feeling for how big it is. You're going through narrow gaps that don't seem narrow in normal cars. So the decent ride height is going to help us here. Takes this well, doesn't it?
It's very smooth, yeah.
And we don't just have driving modes on this, we also have, Annabelle takes a look at the steering wheel, terrain mode. So if I press that, snow, mud and sand. And with all-wheel drive, that makes this supremely capable. It's a gathering of 4x4s. It's just, and as it's an electric vehicle, it literally walks anything like this. Tesla and an Ami. Oh look, car trailer. Ah, the mind boggles. So when you turn left, you've got this that displays in the cluster.
It's just another level of Overwatch, isn't it? It's brilliant.
Yeah. I'd say decent parking sensors, good range on them. Same with blind spot monitoring.
Mind you, with this vehicle this size, you need them, don't you?
Exactly, yeah. Fair bit of bounce to it, hasn't it?
It has, yes.
Mind you, this road is...
It's terrible.
Yeah, in a word, that. Now normally, this would be lovely. But as it's wet, it's, a bit sandy looking. Normally it looks tropical, doesn't it, Annabelle?
It does, that's a good way to describe it. So we've entered Sandside, on the side of the estuary. Over there you can see, it's Grange Over Sands on the other side, isn't it?
It is just a bit further up.
Yes.
That's Meathop.
Meathop, yes.
Yeah. It's also Kent Estuary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which flows into the River Bella. The shipping.
Yeah, it's a pity it's not open.
I know. So now we've picked up to 41 miles an hour. Our range has dropped to 235. So in essence, that means we've used 2 miles to do 8. It's looking good, isn't it?
It boggles, in a good way, but it does boggle the mind. And you can tell it's Easter bank holiday. Look at this.
Yeah, it's a lot of traffic. Oh, it looks like someone's heading to Levens Hall, Annabelle.
Yeah. A lovely place to have a look at. They've got great grounds. They've got a lovely cafe and shop. Check it out if you're ever up here.
We're about to join the 590. And that'll take us up to Ulverston. So we'll pass the Lakeland Motor Museum and, oh no, it's average speed now, isn't it? Lovely. Lovely. Right. Just joining this. Well, there's nothing coming. And even if there was, I could just do this. Lane keep assist kicked in there. Right, so we're up to 60 miles an hour, 234 miles of range. Let's see if it holds up. In fact, I'm going to put adaptive on. One button, literally that. So we're travelling at 63 miles an hour. Range has dropped to 233. Noise in the cabin's amped up a little bit. If you notice, blind spot detection just told us there was a vehicle coming past. Unimog! Yes! Peninsula of the Lake District. Ways keeping us safe once again. Ooh, Tivoli.
There's always going to be something interesting that we'll see on a road trip.
Way! T25. Whoa. And a T3. Nice.
It is bank holiday, look. Bit of traffic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, the interesting thing is, if you think back, oh, nice calm Range Rover. If you think back, there's nothing actually holding it up. It's just bottleneck, 2 lanes into 1. You know, a challenge with living around here. Look at the Range Rover. Yeah, but possibly longer.
Flipping heck.
MG4 there. It's amazing how many electric vehicles you actually see now, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot more, especially up here. Mind you, we've got a decent infrastructure. There's a lot of Type 2 chargers around. And places like Booths have adopted installs, isn't it?
Yes.
Ooh, Grenadier! Going round roundabouts. A little bit of body roll, but you'd expect this to dip, wouldn't you?
And it's not at all.
No.
Just got a nice bit of flex to it just to keep it as a comfortable ride, and
Yeah.
then away you go. That's a lot of people heading home all at the same time.
We're now down to 229 miles of range, but we are travelling between 65 and 70. So this is Lindale Hill, and the benefits of an electric vehicle, something like this, is we will see no drop off in acceleration whatsoever.
Because it is steep, isn't it?
It is.
Steep and long.
Okay, I did put my foot down up there and then had to do pretty much an emergency stop for a Golf that had its right indicator on, where there's nowhere to turn. But the thing is, you can't second guess people. And with that in mind, we've dropped to 225. Misty, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
But you can't see the lakes. Well, the Lake District, some of the mountains, peaks, etc.
They are there, trust us. Are they?
9 times out of 10 you look down and go, oh my, not quite doing the limit anymore. Because it's such a flowing ride. I don't even know how to describe it. It's effortless, isn't it? And it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And it holds the road, and it's everything you want out of a family SUV, isn't it?
Yeah.
And on top of that, 7 seats or 6 seats, depending on which you go for. Cluster's nice and straightforward. So your speedo on the left, your range on the right. You can change this. This is a 40 and now average speed. Oh, an Infinity. So many of those. The adaptive picks up the car in front. Nice. Ooh, iX. Nice. So we can see how much power we're using on the left bar as well. On the right hand side, you can see it's using, but very little. So when it's regenning, it'll go into the bar below. You will find the odd beep and buzz.
And
Thing
boop,
is-
yeah.
And very good. They're not invasive, are they?
No. No, it's just a ping and you can't. Oh right. Oh okay. I need to do that. Oh, check that.
Exactly.
Doesn't nag at you.
Not at all. What gets me about this is how fast it can launch, considering its weight.
Mind you, said it is an electric vehicle.
Look at that!
Oh.
Old school. Nice. House on top. Like a toy toys. There we go. If you could feel the lane departure warning and the lane keep assist then. Passing things, yes, just not a problem. You do it in your sleep in this. What's here on the right hand side, Annabelle? Lakeland Motor Museum.
Oh, of course, sorry. Oh yeah, gosh, that came up really quickly.
Back barrow. So, if Annabelle looks right.
There it is.
Lovely place to go and a great team as well. Look at the traffic. Everybody's heading home. Whereas we're doing, ooh, old S-Class.
Whereas we're doing a road trip.
Yeah,
We're just pootling around.
Range 222 miles. So yeah, the faster you go, the more range. Surprising that. If you keep it at a balanced acceleration, it seems to be around mile for mile at motorway speeds. Haverthwaite,
Very
that's
nice.
a railway. Okay, well, the Land Cruiser's gone under. I would presume will get under, but I don't quite know. Yes, that's quite alarming, that rate. If Annabelle turns around now, you will see the estuary, and essentially it's Sandside. So we're on the opposite side now. Okay, 221 miles of range. Let's head up to Ulverston and join the coastal road. Turning circles better than I expected for something like this. Look at that. Okay. Truck coming. There we go. There's a lighthouse in Ulverston. There's a booths here, so there's rapid chargers too, and a new McDonald's. See, that's the change to 30, so that's how fast the road sign recognition works. And then it will keep beeping at you until you reduce your speed. Where we're going to go is Bardsea and Croftlands, the A5087.
Coastal road.
Great steering.
Handling's superb, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't feel that big either, you know, because that wasn't the widest set of traffic lights. It just did it with ease. It tightens up nicely as well when you're going into more spirited driving. Daffodils.
The spring takes 8 weeks to get from one end of the country to the other. It means we've still got lots of daffodils.
It does. So we're now heading towards the coast. It's a lovely road, this, and I used to use it quite a bit when I delivered for New Air at my Transit. It's a bit more exciting than using the 590. The Bardsea right, and then Barrow Coastal Road this way. Comes into its own on these roads. You do have to notice your speed, because on a road like this you'll quite easily hit national speed limit, and for some reason these are restricted to 50, which makes no sense with all this overtaking, but that's Cumbria Council for you. But if you've noticed, everything on either side is national speed limit. Yeah, I think we need a bit of a rewrite of our rules, don't we, because that's ludicrous. You couldn't do 60 down one of those. I know it is not the limit you're supposed to hit, but it still means you could do it and not get prosecuted. It's alarming. Right, okay. Should you stop here, Annabelle?
Yeah, let's have a look at here.
We've now stopped and we can see the coast. 216 miles of range, and it's nice and easy to see everything in the cluster. I spoke about it before, but you've got 216 there, and now we've opened this door. Oh look, animations as well. Let's have a look through the screen. Tyre pressures, compass, safety, so adaptive, etc. What else can we do with this? Let's have a look. So this is where you set the distance for your adaptive and your lane keep assist. Big chunky stalks. Look, a column shift. And this is where you start the vehicle. And then you've got drive, neutral, reverse, and park at the end. And to put it in drive, you either twist it left or right. So you drive in your terrain mode. So drive there and terrain there. If you go back into drive, my drive, so you can tailor that using the infotainment system. And then eco, normal, sport. Another thing that stands out is because it's on the platform eGMP, which is brand new for EVs, it's got 800 volt architecture, but also when it detects that it's, say, running flat, it will route you through to a charger. But not only that, it'll precondition the battery so it's at the perfect optimum state for charging when you arrive there. So EVs are getting more and more intelligent. Got some USBs down here in the center. Can disable the parking sensors. Got my camera. Press a button to display the camera view, or press and hold to activate the parking system. Oh yes, it's got self-park as well, I forgot about that. Infotainment, nice and straightforward. You've got your cluster, and then you can see things like your heater settings, and you can go in and have a look at other things. All right. Put the windscreen back on. Turn it down. Everything's nice and responsive and easy to navigate if you just push these haptic sensors. So, DAB, AM, Bluetooth, Amazon. Ooh, oh yeah, sounds of nature, of course. And a sailing ship. Now, I'm here. Heated seats and ventilated seats. Heated steering wheel. And if I press this, massaging seat. Lovely. Can then slide this. Phone projection. Voice memo, seats, car wash mode. One really handy thing is if you don't want to get out of the cabin, you can start folding the seats down all from here. So the second row, you can turn on the ventilation, heating, etc. The ergo motion's working well. And if I go to this, I can start folding seats. That should now appear. Yep. It's now unfolded. And all this playing around, if you've noticed, it doesn't really deplete any electric. So the range has gone back up to 222. Decent sized steering wheel. Not too big, not too small. Very Goldilocks. So this is the view off the coastal road. It's a great looking SUV. Very futuristic design. I do like these pixel cube lights as well. It's very smart. LED rear lights and sensors and detection systems throughout. Okay, the navigation says turn round. We're not going to, we're going to continue on the coastal road and then we'll make our way from Barrow. Right, let's roll. I do like the startup.
Right, let's turn these fans down. Because when they start up, they go on to full.
That's because it's on window demister, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so we're leaving here with 216 miles of range. Bear in mind the fan's on, so that's used, I think it's 5 miles, something like that. 89% of battery. Reverse, camera pops up. T25 passing behind. Oh, that warned us. Very nice, thank you. Are we ready?
We're ready.
Gets up to speed nicely. Staggers me. That's a nice colour, isn't it?
It's beautifully done, isn't it?
Seagulls chilling on top. Quite curvy. Maintains its posture. Considering its size, it took that with ease, didn't it?
Yes.
Feels well planted, well, essentially glued to the road. But that comes with the territory. 100 kilowatt hour battery. It's going to be pretty weighty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Battery cells. Oh look, Mark 4 and a Mark 5. On that note, it's 50 years of golf this year, and we may well see our Mark 2 back, might we?
That's the plan.
That is a sketchy bit of building stuck onto the road, isn't it?
Yeah.
Entering into Bay Cliff. It's an enjoyable vehicle. Why did it... Right, okay, for some reason it saw the 20 there and thought...
Oh, you need to be going 20.
Even though it's on completely the opposite side of the road.
There we go. Best things about this, Ben? Comfy seats. It's great for a road trip. So you
You don't have massage. Sorry.
Well, I can manage without with how comfy the seats are.
Plus, you can drive it.
Yes, exactly. So. No, they hold you well. I mean, as you said before, with how high up we are with the raised ride height, great visibility.
There's a lot of adjustment in them too.
Yeah. Because
They're both electric, aren't they?
Yeah, with lots of room in the centre for both Ben and myself to have our arms on the armrest. Our arms. Massive cup holders. Yeah, there's a lot to like about the EV9.
Yeah, no. I do like big vehicles, but it's definitely the biggest Kia we've ever driven. It's possibly the biggest vehicle we've ever driven, bar a van. X7, it's probably close to.
Yeah, I've not been in one of
drove
those.
that for about half an hour.
Yeah.
The suspension takes everything you throw at it, doesn't it? You don't need to brake. I mean, yes, you will get a bit of body roll, but it's not what you'd expect in an SUV of, say...
This size. Yeah.
What, 10, 15 years ago?
Exactly. No, it would have wallowed like a boat.
That's the difference with independent suspension and, say, ladder frame. You know, there's a heck of a difference. That's your Logan. Wow, it's a nice colour.
Beautiful.
S3 says it all. That's a bit of a beast. Our range is 213 miles. So we're holding on to it, aren't we?
Yeah.
Look, there's Rampside.
Oh, ramp side. I thought you said round side.
No.
Ah,
Rampside.
right, okay.
Now, Rower Island, some years ago, I came up here with Tunbridge in probably a Martin Wolf GTI. No, again. It's either that or a Transporter. And it's very bassy. As in the fish.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
So bass.
Yeah. No, bass, but yeah, bass. Yeah, it's a bass fishing area. There's also a lighthouse and a wrecked Sunseeker.
A wrecked one? Ah.
Dumped.
I see, right, okay.
There we are. Now in Barrow, which is 209 miles. Now we've slowed down to 25, 30 miles an hour. It's really economising once again. Rain sensing wipers. But I do have to keep overriding them sometimes because they're not doing the kind of thing I would. I don't like to see any drops. Probably an OCD thing, to be honest. That's it. Rain sensing wipers are just there as a convenience, aren't they?
Yeah.
A lot of people, like us, prefer to be able to use buttons, rotaries, because that's the one thing this doesn't have. Bar that. But it's for your volume, so yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
You've got your controls each steering wheel anyway. Barrow Hospital opposite. Some years ago, I took my new Air van up there, rolled out a massive reel of cable, and then tried to get out of essentially a building site. And brand new tyres that had been fitted the day before, I ran down to the wire just by getting stuck. In the end, I had to be pulled out by Graveson's truck with a metal chain. That's nice. There's some lovely architecture up here, isn't there?
Yeah.
30 to 60 in normal mode. 60. Yeah, considering its weight, power to weight ratio is quite unbelievable. I think it does 125 miles an hour, in which case it's perfect for autobahns too. So we're heading there, thou, yonder. We've not been here for years, have we?
No.
That sounded nice, didn't it? Bavaria.
Yeah.
Considering its size. So normally we go right to head home, but we're going to head left. And Askham, Isleth, Griesbeck, Whitehaven, and Workington Massive. So even though you come in on the coastal roads, you still see the Lake District. It seems to think it's 20 here.
So sometimes it will be wrong.
Yeah, always take note of road signs because we're in a 30 and it thinks it's 20. Now it said it's 30 even though that says 20.
So that should
I mean,
change.
obviously when it's flashing, but yeah.
No, and it didn't.
Why on earth it did that, I don't know, so just bear that in mind.
Yeah. That's, you've always got to be careful of your surroundings, but you should be anyway.
Oh, that's stuck
I
out.
was going to say, that was sticking out a fair bit.
So there's a national speed limit on the right hand side
And a 40 on the left.
Yeah, yet again Cumbria do it in unique style. The thing about this area is if Annabelle pans left now, that's where we're heading actually. There's some excellent B roads around here and there's views galore. Even at the size of this vehicle, at no point do you think, ooh, yeah, a bit cumbersome. It just isn't. It seems to handle and feel like a far smaller SUV, doesn't it?
Yeah. That's it. It challenges you to reevaluate all your notions of what can be done and how agile a larger vehicle can be.
Yeah. 203 miles of range. We're still not guzzling, and I'm not driving what you call economically, am I? I'm just keeping up with the flow of traffic. This has got 800 volt architecture, 0 to 80% or something along those lines. 24 minutes, 115 miles in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're not as fast as a petrol pump, but we're certainly improving. I mean, what did they used to be? Over an hour for something like a 100 kilowatt hour battery.
Yeah.